الدرس الثالث والعشرون, the lesson 23, نائب الفاعل. So this is the topic, نائب الفاعل. So you know what is fa'il already, right? Fa'il is the doer. But now we add this word, na'ib. Na'ib means what? Na'ib is like the replacement, replacer of the fa'il. So what is this word? Okay, now we look at these two groups. What is this na'ibul fa'il? We look at these two groups. In the first group, you look at the verb yazkuru. Yazkuru is to remembers. Remember is yazkur. Yazkur, remember. Okay, is this in the ma'lum or in the majhul form? Yazkurul mu'minullaha kathira.
Ma'lum.
This is in the ma'lum form. So what is the meaning then? If you know this is in the ma'lum form, how do you translate the word yazkuru, the sentence? Yazkurul mu'minu allaha kathira.
The mu'min remembers Allah a lot.
Yes, mu'min, the mu'min remembers Allah a lot. Yes, correct. So if you analyze the sentence, here you have the fi'l, correct? This is the fi'l. It doesn't matter whether it is madi or mudari, but it is a fi'l. And is this ma'lum or majhul? Ma'lum. We have answered that. So since this is ma'lum, you need to have a fa'il. So where is the fa'il? Who remembers? From the meaning, we know this is the fa'il. Okay, so now you have two, both fi'il and also fa'il. So normally when you have fi'il and fa'il, sometimes you will have maf'ulun bih, the object. So we look at the verb again. He remembers. Who did he remembers, or what did he remembers? Allah, right? The word Allah. He remembers Allah. So the word Allah here is the maf'ul bih.
Maf'ul bihi.
Yes. Okay. So that is the maf'ulun bih. Kasiran. Kasiran here is like the adverb. Now, kasiran. Okay. So we are only interested in these three letters, three words. Yazkuru al-mu'minu kasiran. Okay. Now what we do? We change the word yazkur to the passive form. This is ma'lum. You change to majhul. So from our previous lesson, use yazkuru, we change it to yuzkaru. That is number one. So now this is the fi'l. But it is in the majhul form. Okay. So when you have a fi'l in a majhul form, should you have fa'il or no fa'il? No fa'il. You cannot have a fa'il. Therefore, the word mu'min is removed. See, there is no longer the word mu'min here. Yuzkaru. So now, what you need to do, since there is no fa'il, you need to have a word to replace that fa'il. Okay, so what is that word that is replacing the fa'il? That the word is the maf'ul bih. The maf'ulun bih. So the maf'ulun bih in A, when you change to mabni lil majhul, the maf'ulun bih is no longer called the maf'ulun bih. This is now called the na'ib al-fa'il. So it is like you are having a replacement for the fa'il. But it is not a fa'il, because you cannot have fa'il anymore. What is this na'ib fa'il actually? Na'ibul fa'il is actually a maf'ul bih. It is in the original sentence, it is a maf'ulun bih. But when you change to mabni lil majhul, the maf'ulun bih becomes na'ib al-fa'il. So they are actually the same thing. Okay, na'ibul fa'il and maf'ulun bih is the same thing. Okay, the difference is that one is in the ma'lum form, we call it maf'ulun bih, and when it is in the majhul form, it becomes the na'ib al-fa'il. Okay, that is the first thing about na'ib fa'il. Any question before we look at the hukum of na'ib fa'il? Okay, now you know what is na'ib fa'il, right? Okay, so again, what is actually na'ib fa'il? In the original sentence, what is that? In the ma'lum.
How is that?
Again,
Can you again?
my question or my explanation? My question.
Yes.
Lumbi.
Okay. I said just now, the na'ibul fa'il. So after I have explained what is na'ibul fa'il, so my question is, this word na'ibul fa'il here, in the original sentence, what is that word? Is it a fa'il? Is it maf'ulun bih?
It's مفعول به.
Yes, in the original sentence where you have the fi'il ma'lum, that is the maf'ulun bih. Okay, but when you change to fi'il mabni lil majhul, okay, the maf'ulun bih, of course, it will remain. It will remain in the sentence, but we don't. It is not. It is no longer called maf'ulun bih. So it gain a new function or a new grammar function here. We call it na'ib al-fa'il. Okay, the name is na'ib al-fa'il, but the thing is, it is still the maf'ulun bih. The meaning is like the maf'ulun bih, like the object. Because if you look at the meaning, yuzkarullah, Allah is remembered. So it is being remembered. The same meaning here. Mu'min remembers Allah. Okay, but here it is maf'ulun bih, and in ba it becomes the na'ibul fa'il. In terms of the meaning, it is of the same meaning. But in terms of grammar function, it is now changed from maf'ulun bih to na'ibul fa'il. That is number one. Okay, we look at sentence number 2. Ya'kulu daifu ta'am. The daif, the guest, is eating the food. Ya'kulu daifu ta'am. Now we want to change this to na'ibul to mabni lil majhul. So ya'kulu becomes yu'kalu. Yu'kalu is eaten or is being eaten. What is being eaten? Of course, you don't need the fa'il anymore. What is being eaten? The ta'am, right? The maf'ulun bih. So you put the maf'ulun bih again in the sentence. But this time, do you call it maf'ulun bih?
No.
No. That's the thing that you need to remember. Originally, yes, this is the maf'ulun bih, but when you make it in the majhul form, it is no longer a maf'ulun bih. It becomes the na'ib al-fa'il. Okay, so basically na'ib fa'il and maf'ulun bih is the same thing. Only you have to know which term that you should use. Number 3, fatahal waladu an-nafizata. The boy opens the window. Open. This is in the past tense. Fi'il madin. The boy opened the window. So this is the maf'ulun bih. Fi'il fa'il maf'ulun bih. Now you want to change to mabni lil majhul from fataha. This is fi'il madin, yeah? Fi'il madin. We change to futiha. What it is open. Oh, sorry, was open. So what was open? Nafiza, the window. The window was open because the boy opened the window, so it was open. So you put the word Nafiza. But this time, this is no longer called the maf'ulun bih because the sentence is in majhul form. So you change the type, the name to Naib al-Fa'il. So this is the Naib al-Fa'il. And why is it futihat? Because Nafiza is mu'annas. That is why you have this ta, additional ta here. All right. So Nafiza is your naibul fa'il. And number 4, kasarat al-bintu al-ka'sa. The girl kasarat, he broke the cup. Kasara. So the girl broke the cup. Al-ka'sa. Now we change to mabni lil majhul. Kasara becomes kusira. You want to say is broken. What is broken? The cups. Right? The cups is broken. So cups, initially it was the maf'ulun bih, but now it becomes naib al-fa'il because we use mabni lil majhul. So that is the first thing that we need to remember. Naib al-fa'il is a grammar term, is to refer to maf'ulun bih when you use it in the mabni lil majhul together with fi'il mabni lil majhul. So with fi'il mabni lil majhul, we don't have maf'ulun bih, we don't have fa'il, we don't have maf'ulun bih. Maf'ulun bih is changed to naib al-fa'il. Okay, any questions so far? Okay.
So far can understand.
All right, good. Okay. Now, if you have understood what is naibul fa'il, we want to look at the hukum. What is the hukum? How do you read this? Do you read this with a dhamma? Do you read naibul fa'il with a fatha? How do you read this? All right. So you look at the name. The name is naib al-fa'il. What is the hukum of fa'il just now when we did the exercises? When we say fa'il, fa'il is?
Marfu.
Marfu, correct. Yes, fa'il is always marfu. So when the word is marfu, what is the alama? So we do some revision here. When it is marfu, what is the symbol or the sign for a marfu word?
Dhamma.
Dhamma. One of them is Dhamma. Okay. So normally by default it is Dhamma. Yes, you say marfu with Dhamma. But sometimes you cannot have Dhamma. Sometimes you need to use letters such as alif. Okay, if you still remember this alif for Muslimani, Mu'minani, Talibani, that is alif, right? When it is for Musanna, two for Musanna, you choose the alif version of the word Muslimani, not Muslimaini. Sometimes instead of alif, you choose wow. This is the Dhamma, yeah. This is Dhamma, but this is wow, the letter. This is for Jama Muzakkar. Jama Muzakkar Salim, you use wow version of the word, such as Muslimuna, okay, Mu'minuna, okay, not Muslimina or Mu'minina. Okay, so these are the signs for marfu, right? For fa'il, so fa'il is marfu, and marfu you have to use all this. Now this topic is na'ibul fa'il. It is the replacement or the replacer of fa'il. So the replacer of fa'il will get the same hukum. Therefore, na'ibul fa'il, the hukum of na'ibul fa'il is similar to the hukum of fa'il that is marfu, right? So since it is marfu, again, you end it with the dhamma. If it is musanna, you end it, you have the alif version. If it is jamak muzakkar, you have the waw version. Okay, so in terms of hukum, it is similar to the hukum of fa'il. But in terms of the meaning, it is the meaning of the maf'ul bihi. That is why when you look at the sentence here, yuzkaru Allahu, Allah is remembered. Look at the ha. This is now with the dhamma. And when we did the exercises for the lesson mabni lil majhul, we have seen this, right? Immediately after the fi'l, you will have a word with a dhamma. Why is that? That is because this is the na'ibul fa'il. And na'ibul fa'il is marfu. And when something is marfu, you end it with a dhamma. Yuzkarullahu. The same goes to number 2. Yu'kalu ta'amu. Okay, in the original sentence, it is ta'ama. But now, it becomes the na'ibul fa'il. So na'ibul fa'il is marfu. Just like fa'il marfu, na'ibul fa'il marfu, you have a dhamma, at-ta'amu. The same thing for number 3, an-nafizatu. Okay, why? Because this is na'ibul fa'il marfu with a dhamma. And also the last one, al-ka'su. This is also na'ibul fa'il, so you have to end it with a dhamma. Now, so that is the lesson of na'ibul fa'il. It is pretty straightforward, right? Because you have understood the mabni lil ma'lum and mabni lil majhul, and you have you know what is fa'il, you know what is maf'ulun bih. Then this one, I think it is very straightforward. Yes. Any questions? Okay. If there is no question, let us look at the qaida. This is actually similar to what I've explained just now. Al qaida, first they explain what is na'ibul fa'il. Na'ibul fa'il, it is isim. Of course, it must be noun. You cannot have a fi'il to be na'ibul fa'il. It must be isim. Number 2, this is the hukum. So they put the hukum straight away. They give you the hukum straight away. So it must be marfu. So when it is marfu, you know it must end either with a dhamma, either with the alif, either with the waw, right? That is marfu. And when and then they said yaqa'u ba'da fi'lin mabni li al majhul. So when will you find this na'ibul fa'il, or when will you see this na'ibul fa'il? It is yaqa'. Yaqa'u means located. It is located after fi'il mabni lil majhul. This is also important. It must be after the fi'il, not before the fi'il. Just like fa'il, fa'il is after the fi'il, not before the fi'il. That is number 1. Number 2, not all fi'il, it must be fi'il mabni lil majhul. So then is the na'ibul fa'il. All right. And this part, this is just additional information. They say that wa yahullu mahallal fa'ili, and it takes the place of a fa'il. Yahullu mahal mean it takes the place of fa'il. Okay, ba'da hazfihi, after removal of it, after we remove the fa'il, so this one takes its place. If you look at the sentence again, yazkurul mu'minu Allah, the fa'il is mu'min. But here, when we remove the fa'il, this maf'ul bih takes its place immediately after the fi'il. So this is what they want to mention here, what they want to say. Yahullu mahala al-fa'il ba'da hasfihi. Alright, that is why, since it takes the place of fa'il, hence the name na'ib al-fa'il. And they call it na'ib al-fa'il. This is the definition. Okay, number 2. Yasri ala al-fi'li ma'a na'ibil fa'ili ma yasri ala al-fi'li ma'al fa'ili. So how do I translate this? Yasri ala al-fi'l, what will happen for the fi'il? What will take place to the fi'il with na'ibil fa'il is similar to what takes place with the fi'il and the fa'il. It means that the hukum of fi'il and fa'il applies to the fi'il and na'ibul fa'il. In terms of what? In terms of ahkam at-tazkir wa ta'nis. In terms of the muzakkar and also mu'annas. So what they want to say here is this. When you have fi'il and fa'il, they must be, if this is muzakkar, the verb must be used for muzakkar. Yazkuru, right? Mu'min, so you use the ya, mu'min. But what about the na'ibul fa'il? So they said that na'ibul fa'il, just like what you did to this, what we have here, muzakkar with muzakkar. So here you have to look at this word. If this is muzakkar, then this must be muzakkar as well. So they want to say that na'ibul fa'il and fa'il is similar in terms of the hukum. Okay, so muzakkar with muzakkar, mu'annas with mu'annas. This is the example. Mu'annas, just like when you have fa'il mu'annas, the fi'il must be changed to mu'annas. The same thing. If na'ibul fa'il is mu'annas, then your fi'il must be changed to mu'annas as well. Okay, so this is what they want to explain here. Mu'annas with mu'annas, muzakkar with muzakkar. And number 3, the last one, this is the reason. Hazfu al-fa'il. Why fa'il is removed? Hazaf bimana remove. Why is the fa'il removed? When we use, as I have explained in the lesson of mabni lil majhul, we said that whenever you use mabni lil majhul, you don't have the fa'il anymore. We remove the fa'il. So here they explain, why do we remove the fa'il? Why you can't explain that you can't mention the fa'il anymore? So here they say the removal of fa'il. Why is that? Okay, these are the justification or the reason why we remove the fa'il. Number 1, they said imma lil ilmi bihi. Imma, either it is either because ilmi, known, bihi, it is already known. You don't have to mention the fa'il. Everybody know. Okay, everybody know who the fa'il is. That is why sometimes you don't need to mention. Okay, for example, in the Quran, Allah says, wa khuliqal insanu da'ifa. Wa khuliqa al insanu da'ifa. And man is, what is khuliqa? Anyone? Create or created? Created, yes, because this is in the majhul form. Sahih. So khuliqa, if you want it in a ma'lum form, you will say khalaqa. Khalaqallah. So why did Allah use mabni lil majhul in the sentence? Why there is no need to mention the word Allah anymore? Because as Muslim, we know who created us. Who created us? It is Allah. It is already known, right? It is already known. So that is why sometimes in the sentence, we don't need to mention the fa'il anymore because it is already known. It is something that everybody know. That is why wa khuliqal insanu da'ifa. No need to mention. Why? This is the reason. Imma lil ilmi bihi. So you can use that. Yeah. Number 2, or au al jahli bihi. Or maybe another reason is because it is you do not know who the fa'il is. Al jahli bihi here means you do not know who the fa'il is. Al jahli bihi. So for example, if your mom asks you who did this, okay, you do not know. Okay, maybe you just tell your mother. You say kusira. Okay, ummi kusira al ka'su. The glass was broken. Okay, so you use mabni lil majhul. Why is that? Because you do not know who breaks it. Okay, you do not know who broke the glass. So you just say ummi kusira al ka'su. Done. And then when your mother asks who did it, ana la a'rifu, I don't know. That is why I use mabni lil majhul. So this is the second reason why we use fi'l mabni lil majhul in our sentence. We do not know the fa'il. Who is the fa'il? Reason number 3. أو الخوف منه, or because al-khawf, you are afraid from this person. You are afraid that if you mention that person will blame you, or that person will hate you, for example. So you take this example again. Kusiral kasu. You know actually who did that, your brother. You want to say to your mother, mama, mama. Kasara, you want to say, ummi, kasara al-ah. Kasara al-ah al-ka'sa. This is the fact. But you purposely did not want to mention al-akh. Why? Because if you mention, you know that your brother is going to hit you. So that is why you just say to your mother, kusir al-ka'su. Who did that? You keep silent. You know, but you do not want to mention. Because why? Al-khawfi minhu. And reason number 4 is alaihi. Alaihi is actually, okay, you have to join it to the word al-khawf. We say al-khawfu alaihi. What is this? Al-khawfu alayh. You are afraid, but you are afraid of him. You are afraid that something will happen to him. Again, we take this example. You know that your brother did this. Kasara al-akh, but you purposely do not want to mention your brother. Why? Because if you mention your brother's name, then maybe your father or your mother will hate him, and you do not want that to happen. This is what we call al-khawfu alayhi. Okay, so this is just additional information why sometimes people use fi'il mabni li al-majhul. Naam.